I'm David S. Hogan. Welcome to my show. Welcome to the David S. Hogan Show. I'm David S. Hogan. Let's talk some. We're going to be talking about entertainment type stuff and other things that make me rant. The other thing we're going to do on the show is have interviews with local entertainment people that you want to get to know a bit better. My first guest will likely be the one and only and the amazing Angela DeMarco, who many of you love and know. What I want to talk to you about today, and what's kind of got my panties in a bunch, a recent article came out, and the headline, I'm going to tell you what the headline read. I'm going to look it up right here. It's interesting that I'm looking this up on social media because we're going to be talking about social media, especially as social media applies to the path of the actor. This article was published on projectcasting.com. Headline reads, "Talent agents say Instagram followers is more important than acting talent." What? So, clickbait, first of all. Second of all, the discussion went like this. We shared it on a couple of my Facebook groups, and we started talking. We started talking about social media and how important it is to the actor's trajectory, their path, their career path. And we are talking right now about actors pursuing a career in front of the camera. And the reason I'm doing this show and this episode today is because I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you, industry experts. I want to hear from you, actors in the industry. I want to know what you're hearing. I want to know from the folks who have their feet on the ground. This is the Seattle market. I work in the Seattle market. Things are different here than they are in Los Angeles, I am sure, and I know that they are. The headline is obviously misleading, right? The headline can't possibly be true, right? Can you wrap your head around that? Can you actually imagine a scenario where someone who is casting a project will actually look at the Twitter followers or the Instagram popularity and decide to hire someone based on that rather than their chops and their acting talent? Can you imagine living in a world where that's possible? I can't. I think it's complete. I think maybe in some scenarios, when you get up to a high enough, hypothetically speaking, I can only see this potentially working if you have two amazingly talented actors fighting for the same job. And it's a really important part. And then you want to dig a little bit deeper because everything is about marketing and money and how are we going to get eyes on this show, right? The industry's got a lot of pressure, right? We all know that. So then you dig into the social media profiles of these two amazing actors who are at the top of their game, competing for this very important role on this big budget TV show, big budget film. I think maybe what I'm telling my folks out there, especially my blue-collar actors in Seattle, those of us grinding away in the Northwest, and even those hustling in the bigger markets who are going in for co-star roles and guest star roles, and they're working in independent films and all that, which is the majority of actors out there, you know, are just like me, just grinding away, and we're just workaday actors, right? When we are looking to get hired and competing for co-star, guest star roles, you know, when we're competing for that independent film project, trying to get in, nobody gives a about our Instagram followers. The problem with articles like this and the chatter that because I put this up on my page and people just spent hours, you know, talking about it and getting on their computer and writing and their opinions were flowing and all of this stuff. My point is this: you have to prioritize your time, actors, and you have to know that there are far more important things you can do for your career than simply focus on, I got to get my Twitter followers up. I got to post some on Instagram and really get that popularity up because then I can compete. I think you guys know this deep down in your souls, and I just don't want you to get seduced by these crazy articles written on, you know, everybody's got a blog, right? I've got a blog. Who am I? Exactly. What's more important than your goddamn social profile? Your headshots, your reel, the way that you conduct yourself, how you knock it out of the park in every single audition, how you make a fan of the casting director in the room. I really want to reach out to my peers and my other actor friends and my industry folks who are out there helping actors. Bonnie Gillespie, I'd love to hear from you about this. Bill Oberst Jr., I'd love to hear your input. You are one of my, I always talk about you as one of those actors who moved to LA, was really, really smart about what they did, and your resume backs up the fact that you work your ass off, you know who you are, you know what you're doing, and I'd love to know your input on this topic of actors need to be really pimping out their social media profiles. That can't be more important than the craft, right? I mean, it's not. It can't be. Maybe it's important. I'm not saying don't do social media, don't engage, but you have to prioritize. And our resources, our time is limited as actors and as people. I want to hear from you, Sean Cook. I want to hear from you, Sarah Egan. I'm calling you guys out. Anybody else who has an opinion on this topic, I want to hear from you. That's why there's a comment section. Let's hear about it. Let's talk about it. Correct me if I'm wrong. Get my back if you think that I'm talking some truth. And let's keep this conversation going.